So, Fergal, Angry Birds as a film, that nobody actually saw that coming until it suddenly was announced by somebody that they were making it. What's it like to be involved in making a very popular game into a film?
Well, the brilliant thing for us is that Angry Birds has, as a brand, has global awareness, and when we were asked to sort of make the film, we totally we just kind of decided to treat it like its own story, its own movie, its own new world creation. So we started with just a very simple premise, which is the birds versus the pigs. And, Rovio were very kind to sort of, particularly Mikhail Head, just let us come up with our own story and, of course, create the characters and personalities that, are very funny and very appealing, but don't really exist in the game.
Because in the game, everyone's they're all quite taciturn. They don't speak,
Yes.
Yeah. While some of them seem to have different personalities based on the kind of things that they do.
Yes.
But that must have been a challenge then to give voice.
It was the hardest part of any movie, any animated movie, or even a live action movie is many times when we start animated features, we don't have a script. So we're working off creating an outline and then sort of generating the personalities that come out of the story, and it's sort of a very organic process. So, a lot of people ask, how can you take something as simple as a title, with a simple premise, and then turn it into a movie? And really, the trick is to create great, appealing, funny personalities. And the fact that the birds are angry, and that was like a basic tenet of the game. Anger is like a goldmine for comedy. So we knew if we could crack the main personality of Red, that and make it a great, funny character that the audience would fall in love with, even though he's angry, and that's a hard thing to do in animated movies. We would have something really special.
You have a sort of itchy and scratchy type thing, except with birds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they have been remarkably popular, so
yeah,
we can see that an angry animated cartoon character.
Yeah, there's more dimension, than itchy and scratchy to Red and Chuck and Bomb. We find out sort of why Red is an angry bird. We sort of see him at the beginning of the movie, and he goes through, a very irritating day for him, But then you sort of, as you sort of get to know his personality, and that comes out when Chuck and Bomb join in. There's sort of a triangular electricity between those three characters, and it's pretty rich, We sort of were able to just forget about the icons and just create personalities that we wanted to see on screen. So that's why it has a unique. The movie has sort of a unique sort of comedic take.
There was much pressure on you then going into this as a director rather than working as a storyboard artist or something.
It's a different kind. There is more pressure as a director. You're dealing with all pieces of the pie, and as a story artist, you only get to bite a couple of slices of the pie. But the process, my training as a story artist prepared me very well to be a director, because one, I work up very close with the director when we're working on story and creating characters, and two, the main skill of a director is to be a storyteller, and you get to practice that every day as a story artist. You get to learn how to create interesting, appealing characters. You learn how to create stuff that's going to be funny on screen, or dramatic, or or action oriented. You learn all the different skills that it takes to sort of do that, and then you learn how to use your camera as well. So particularly these days, with the way technology is sort of taken storytelling to different forms. You know.
If you would have started with when it was traditional hand-drawn animation, how have you found the transition then into the 3D CGI?
For me, it was a godsend because I jumped between live action and animated movies, and I always sort of saw with a live action eye, you know, in terms of the way I would block a scene. And the directors that had an early influence on me, like Brad Bird, who I worked with, his way of of telling a story used very sophisticated sort of camera technique and storytelling technique. So to be able to like move around in a space and block a scene and choreograph action and do that in a 3D space very much like you would if you had a real camera, that was like freedom to me. So I just loved it from the very first moment. But I still draw every day, you know, even if it's digital drawings, I still do that every day to get my ideas out, you know.
Yeah, it's a good way to express yourself is to go and draw. I write, but you know,
Yes.
It's always important to keep your hand in, essentially.
Yeah.
You saw that, I think that Brad Bird, who you cited as a reference, he's moved now into live action. Is that somewhere that you would like to transition yourself?
Definitely. I mean, if it's the right story and the right project, and the way filmmaking is going, you know, live action movies like the Marvel movies, or they may as well be animated. You know, that the characters are, you know, half of the characters are digital in it, and you know, you're moving the cameras, you know, very much, you know, the techniques are the same. So it always boils down to like what makes a great appealing character, you know, be it Red from Angry Birds, or be it, you know, Ant-Man or Iron Man. You know, there's a lot of crossover that's happening, and now it's turning into something else with VR. You know, it's stepping into new realms, you know, and that's going to challenge filmmakers and audiences as well.
There's some very exciting opportunities coming up in that realm.
Yeah.
I'd like to come back here because the Irish animation scene is
booming.
Yeah.
The animation industry in Ireland is booming, and you know, now it's its own thing. It's its own indigenous industry. And at the beginning, the roots of it weren't like that, because it you know, it came from animators in Sullivan Bluth and Murakami Wolf, and now it's brilliant to see, you know, companies like Brown Bag and Jam Media and, you know, Cavalier, all sort of based here, making their own content, you know, and creating indigenous product.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks a million. So you're going to cut that, Jeff. We
Yeah,
can't
that's
stop
no
because they're
problem.
memory
Yeah, no,
cards.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.